time. My name is Joe Wagner. I appreciate you being here. Today, I'm going to do a demo for you on how to set up a simple system for salespeople, no matter what industry you're in, on how to automate your follow-up. Okay, so if you are in sales and you find yourself out there building a big list of potential customers, no matter what industry you're in, you go to work, it's hard work, you're finding potential merchants and potential customers, and you're mentally trying to remember all your follow-up and when to send emails and when to call them. And a lot of follow-up is, slipping through the cracks because you're so busy going and getting new clients and prospecting. This system I'm going to show you is going to help you significantly. So as a salesperson myself, I go out and I spend 99% of my time prospecting. The most successful salespeople spend most of their time prospecting, acquiring new clients, right? And it dawned on me years and years into sales, even though I was really successfully closing a bunch of business, still do to this day. One day it dawned on me how many hundreds of potential customers had I never even followed up with, right? And as I got more mature in sales, and you hear people like Grant Cardone and others say the money's in the follow-up, and though I was very successful signing new business and one-stop closes and things like that, I've wasted so many hundreds and hundreds of clients that if there had been just some follow-up or a follow-up email, that I could have acquired so many more. And that's the whole idea of this model. So no matter what industry you're in, no matter what product you're selling today, you're going to get an education. If you don't have something like this already, it is going to change your business. I did not create the software. I'm just going to do a demo of one of the softwares that I use, and then you can do what you want with that, okay? I just want to show you how simple it is to set something up like this that's going to change your business. And at the end, if you want some additional help, that will be an option, but you're not required to buy anything to stay and get a great education today. I'm going to keep it as short and powerful as I possibly can and as simplified as I possibly can as well. So this demo is for people that are in the sales industry that spend most of their time prospecting. The most successful people in sales are constantly prospecting new business. But when you do that, you also find yourself with too many prospects to remember all the details of exactly when to follow up, when to send the email, when to make the phone call, what information they requested, and all of that stuff. And like me, like I already said, you're probably wondering how many sales are slipping through the cracks from being unorganized. And I'm going to show you a system on how to be very, very organized and set this on autopilot so that you can spend all your time prospecting new business, but all of the follow-up doesn't slip through the cracks and just whittle away, because we work really hard to make those connections, right? So let's do something with them that's more productive than just letting them float away and do nothing, right? This system's going to fix that. So the goal here today is we want to set up a simple automated sequence. I'm not going to make it too complicated. I'm going to show you how to set up a different list, which is going to separate the types of customers and the steps that they're at. We're going to set up a couple simple email campaigns, show you how simple it is to do that. And we're going to set up some triggers that do things for you automatically. So at the end of this, you will have leverage in your sales organization, whether that's an independent sales organization for yourself or you're a W-2 salesperson. You must have systems to do this follow-up for you. You can't do it all yourself. And for those of you that do stay to the end, I'm going to give you the resources that I'm showing you so that you can pull this off very quickly. Okay, within one day of this demo, you can go out and you can do this. I'm going to give you the resources to get that done, okay? So when it's all said and done and you get this set up correctly, your prospects are going to feel like you're constantly remembering and you're checking up on them. Your prospects are going to get the information that they requested from you, so you're going to better service them. And you're also going to brand yourself as their go-to person when they are ready at a later time, right? The reason they're going into the system I'm going to show you is because you didn't get them yet. This is for follow-up, right? So when that person is ready, if you set this up correctly, they'll remember you for your specific industry because you've been checking up on them occasionally automatically. So when the time comes and they are ready for your service, you should pop in on the top of their mind as their go-to person, because whether it was 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year, you've been sending some information, just keeping in touch, following up automatically while you're prospecting new business, right? That's super important because you're going to stay relevant in their mind, right? So whatever product it is that you have, I do payment processing. So I'm going to do a little demo on when I talk about my product. This will work for any industry. It doesn't matter what you're selling, regardless if I reference payment processing or not. It's going to keep your professional image very, very sharp because you actually do what you say. You follow up with people. And my favorite part is it gives you leverage. Leverage is when things are happening, whether you're doing them or not. So whether it's the weekend and you're out on a boat, or you're out hiking with your friends, or you're out prospecting new business, you have a system behind you that's constantly working, which is what leverage is all about. So let's get into this demo. Enough talk. All right, so this here is one of 2 CRMs that I personally use. This is called Active Campaign. I emailed you the link. You can find it in the description of the video as well. And I'm going to do a quick little demo on Active Campaign. Okay, I think you can set up a free trial. This isn't my software. It's just one that I use. And I feel comfortable showing you how simple it is to get things set up. I have another CRM. We'll talk about that at a later time if people are interested. But the first thing that we want to do is we want to set up different lists that's going to separate our customers. So we just go down here. We're going to go to list. And as I'm going through this stuff, if it doesn't make sense at first, just hang tight. It'll all tie together at the end. So the first thing I want to do is separate my customers. So right here, I'm going to put CDP general. CDP is for my industry. It's cash discount program. Yours just might be general, like general follow-up. So there we've got our first list in there. I'm going to set up another list. This one is going to be scheduled appointment. Let's add that list. And I'm going to do one more on here. This one's going to be for people that actually close. So clients, in my case, merchants. They became a merchant. If you don't have a website, just put something in there for demo purposes. All right, so here we go. So we got 3 lists in here. Now the next thing that we want to do is we want to set up some automations so that when a contact goes into the list, emails and things start happening. So right now we have a general follow-up. So for me, payment processing, somebody's out in the field. At the end of the day, you've got 5 to 10 business cards of people that didn't sign up for our service yet, but they were interested in some more information about our program, right? The cash discount program or whatever program it is that you're selling. And they just generally wanted some more information. They didn't have time to sit down and do it all right now, but they were interested, right? So a contact like that's going to end up in your general follow-up. Now I'm going to show you how to set it up so as soon as they get into that list, emails and things start happening. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to automations and we're going to set up exactly what we want to happen. This is where the leverage happens. So on your first go around, obviously there's nothing back here yet. So we're going to create our first one. Back here, it's very, very cool. They even have automations and things set up, the sequences for you. I'm not going to get into that, but you can get very sophisticated. So again, I'm giving you a simple demo that's going to be very custom to exactly how you want it for your business, okay? So I'm just going to start one from scratch, but just know they even have pre-made automations for you depending on what you're trying to get done. So the first thing we need to set up is when does this automation start? So we want it to start, in this example, when they subscribe to one of the lists, which is going to be the general list. So select the list, general follow-up, add start. All right, so once they're on that general follow-up, the next thing we want to do is as soon as they hit that list, we want to create the action that is going to kick off, which in this case is going to be send an email. So let's create a new email here. Demo 1, follow-up, general list. So that's going to pull up all sorts of templates that are available. There's all sorts of cool, sophisticated stuff you can do. I'm just going to go to one I already have. It's a personal email because that's how I want it to look. I want it to look like a personal email, not a marketing email. Here is the info you requested. And then you can put first name. So the CRM will recognize who this contact is, and that's how you do it. So you put the percentage sign, and these will be all caps, first name, and then the percentage sign again, okay? So here's the info you requested, Joe, is what it's going to say in their inbox. All right, so now we're just in here creating the email. So I've already got a bunch of templates set up. I'm not going to type all that stuff here with you guys. I can help you with templates. We'll talk about that at the end. But for now, I'm just going to paste in a template that I've already got. All right, so hello, Joe, blah, 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 blah. This is just the intro one. So what you want in your follow-up email is you want to have a video that will explain the program for you if you have one. You definitely want to put in some testimonials if you have those on video. And then you also want to have the ability for them to schedule a call with you, whether that's a Zoom call, a phone call, or an appointment. So those are three things that I'm going to suggest that you have. All right, so I'm just going to go over to YouTube. In my case, Easy Pay Cash Discount Program. That's the product and the company that I'm making this for. Just go down here to share. I'm going to grab the link for the video. This is a video that explains my product that I'm following up with them on. I'm going to go back over here. So click here for a video that explains it in very simple terms. Okay, your goal isn't to try to sell it in an email. Hopefully you've got a video that'll do that. And then we were talking about triggers. So what I want to do is anyone that clicks on this link, I'm going to set up a trigger. So in this case, let's tag this person, watched CDP explainer video. So now anyone that clicks on that link in the email is now also going to assign a tag to their contact information within the CRM. That's going to come helpful later. Now let's get a testimonial video in here. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm on YouTube. I'm going to our company testimonial videos. There's a bunch and a bunch and a bunch of them. Let's just pick one here. Share, copy, go back over here. Click here for testimonial. Now I want to highly suggest whatever type of business that you're sending the testimonial, you should go find a similar business that relates to them. If you're with Easy Pay or if you're doing payment processing, go find a business similar to what they're doing, right? So if I'm going to do a restaurant or a bar, I'm probably going to send a restaurant bar. I'm not going to send an auto shop testimonial to a restaurant if I have the right one. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you don't have the specific industry, then just use whatever testimonial you have. So I've got the link set up for the testimonial. So I always add actions. I want to know what people have seen. So watched, let's just say restaurant testimonial. Okay. So we've got a couple things to make it really easy for them. And then very, very important here, you want them to be able to have more than one way of communicating with you. So obviously email is going to be one of them. They can just respond. If they're a very busy person like me, I like to just have things on a schedule very quickly. I don't want to make a phone call. I don't need to have to email. If I can just click and get on someone's schedule and then I've reserved a time. You know, business owners and prospects are very, very busy. So a lot of people use this. It's going to make a big difference. So there's free appointment software. Again, I'm providing all that. At the end of this, I'm going to give you all the resources. Everything I'm showing you, you're going to have the resources. So I have a free appointment software. So for my free appointment software, I'm going to go back here to get the hyperlink. Right now, everything's blocked off. Normally, there will be times available so people can book whatever time they want. For demo purposes, I've got all that turned off. I'm going to come in here and we're going to hyperlink. Click here to schedule a call. So this one's really cool because we want to add some extra tags. So another tag that we can do is when they go in here to schedule for a call, I also want to subscribe them to a new list. So remember we added a list called scheduled appointment. So if they go here to this link, I want to know about that. Subscribe to list. So now when they click on that and they go schedule an appointment, it's going to also add them to that list, right? So you can see how we're segmenting people based on the actions they're taking. We can see what they're doing. We can tag them based on what they're doing, and we can drive them right to a specific list. So they go from a general lead, and you can start breaking them down to a very, very hot lead, all the way down to where they're a client, right? So this is just the first email that they're gonna get. This is good. Let's get ready to get on to the next one. So before you completely move on, you're gonna be able to double check your stuff. This software is really cool. At the bottom, you will find out if there's any issues that are gonna check for spam. Is this gonna end up in people's spam? So this is a demo account, right? So it's just a free hotmail.com address. So it's telling us right here, we want to have a company email. So this will spam check. If you're using a title that's going to get triggered as spam, if you're talking about like financial freedom and multi-level marketing, there's certain things that are going to red flag as spam. And this software will even check to make sure the email you're sending doesn't get marked as spam. Pretty awesome stuff. You all sorts of tracking going on here. You can double check, make sure it's coming from the right email address, and you can do all sorts of stuff before you actually get this thing programmed to send out. So we're not going to get into all those details. I'm trying to keep this simple. Let's get past the first email here. And of course, you always want to save this. That's what the email is going to look like there, right? So there you go. We set up our very first part of this automation. Now let's get more sophisticated and actually start following up with them. So as soon as they subscribe, it's going to send them that email. It's got all sorts of great information in there. We're tagging them. We're following what they're doing. And that's just the first email. So what we want to do now, I'm going to set up the next step, which is we're going to wait a little bit. So I'm going to go conditions. We want to wait for a specific period of time. And let's say it's 2 days. Okay, you can go do your research and figure out the best timing, or later on we can discuss that. But let's just set up, so 2 days later. So it's going to wait for 2 days, and then it's going to do whatever we program it to do, right? So let's set that up. And folks, you can do SMS here as well. So you can set this up. I think there's some additional costs for it, but you can text them as well through this. So I'm going to just set this up, again, keeping this simple, where we're going to send them an email after 2 days. And we're just going to check up and follow up on them. So let's create another email. It's just demo 2, general list. Again, I'm just going to do a personal email. I like to use their first names because people love to see their names. It just gets a better open rate. And I'm going to get in here and I'm going to plug in my next template. So I've got my next email here. I've got the links. Again, I'm going to put the video. I'm also going to invite them always down here to a phone call where they can get scheduled themselves. But in the second one, I always like to put, maybe I could stop by in the next day or two, or if you prefer. I really want to get them engaged. I want to get them to start responding. As you know, prospects, the longer time goes by, the colder they get. So within these first 2-3 emails, if you can get that engagement and get an appointment scheduled, that ultimately is the goal that's going to lead to the highest ratio of closes. And keep in mind, these emails are now going to be getting sent off while you're out prospecting, getting new business, okay? So this is all going to be happening automatically. We do this work right now as quickly as I'm showing you, and it's set. It's done. It's set it and forget it. Go to work. And all your follow-up will be done automatically as long as you're putting your contacts in here at the end of every single night, okay? So we got our second email sent. It's got some great links in there, and it's engaging. I'm asking questions, trying to get them to engage and react to me. I'm going to go down. I always want to check. So again, I'm going to keep getting the same signal because I'm using a Hotmail account. If this was saying spam check, you're using words like financial freedom, then I would know what the issue was, and I need to go back to my email or my subject line, and I need to change it. So the only reason the spam check is catching something is because of the email that I'm sending it from. So you probably want to be using a business email, which is what I would recommend anyways. So we're going to finish this one up. Always save it or it's not doing anything. All right, so you can see where this is going here so far, right? I hope you can see that it's not going to take all that long, and we could set this thing up so, another 2 days or 3 days after this, an email will go. And then after that first week, they're not getting a lot of responses. I'm just going to fast forward here. You're going to create this as long as you want, but I would build this thing out over a year and 2 years so that maybe every 30 days, right? You come in, the next step, you want to wait 30 days, right? You don't want to bombard them. So maybe you wait 30 days. And as this thing goes longer and longer, you should still email them every, it's up to you, 15 days, every 30 days. And that's how you just are constantly checking up with them. So I would write an email, hey, just following up. I met with you 45 days ago, blah, blah, blah. Just want to let you know I'm still here. Great program. Let me know if you ever have any questions. I'll swing by if I'm in the area. Right. And at that point, you're not even overly selling it. You're just letting them know, just thinking about you. I'm still here. I'm still available. Do you want to talk? Or I'll swing by and say hi sometime. And you could do that every 30 days for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you will always be following up with them. And now as they click on the links and you assigned a tag to it or you assign them to a different list, that other list can set off a whole new sequence of emails and you're tracking how far along they've gone, okay? So we already put in here links for a scheduled call. So let's go set up another automation here. Oh, we want to get in, we want to name this, so we don't want an automation one. So let's go back in there real quick. And up here is where you actually name it. So this automation is going to be general follow-up list. Save that. And up here in the top right, you want it active, or if you ever want to turn it off, you can go to inactive. So when you first set it up, it's automatically inactive. So mark it as active as well, okay? So now as soon as we put a contact in here and they subscribe to this list, that's it. This email is going to take off. This sequence is going to take off. You set it, you forget it, go out and prospect new business. And once you have this done correctly, obviously I'm giving you a quick breakdown, but you can see how you could just add email, text them. The texting works really, really well too. So much cool stuff you can do with this here. So we're going to create another automation. Going to start from scratch for these demo purposes, but you really should go in here and look at all these cool things they have. So again, when we first come in, the first thing it's going to do is automatically ask us, what is the starting point for this automation? There's all sorts of different things you can do here, folks. I'll let you go and check all that out. But subscribe to a list is the simplest one. It's the one that we drive them right where we want them. So as soon as they subscribe to scheduled an appointment, we want to send an email or a text message or whatever it is that you end up doing, probably an email or a text or both, right? So let's do that. Let's set up an SMS. And mine's set up. You do have to pay. It's actually really, really, really affordable and for how effective it is. Let's just send them a text saying, hey, we got you on our appointment. All right, so we got that set up. It's going to send off this text message. So as soon as they go in, they schedule an appointment. We're going to text them, hey, I've got your appointment. I marked my calendar. Please mark yours. And we're probably going to want to also do something similar in the form of an email. Come in here, pick our template. Appointment confirmed, or however you want to word it. All right, so obviously that's going to bring us up to our template here again. And I've got a template for appointments. So I already have all this stuff ready to go. Now, when I do if somebody schedules an appointment with me, one thing I'll give you a tip if you're going to go create your own templates is, I want them to understand that I value my time as much as I value theirs. So I always like to have a reminder, just a reminder, please mark your calendar accordingly as both our times are valuable and to keep it honored. So I, as a salesperson, value my time and I'm going to honor theirs that they gave me. I ask for the same in return. So I always put something like that in there. And my no-shows are very, very, very minimal. They got scheduled and set an appointment. They moved over to the list automatically. and we automatically sent them an email. Now, as all this stuff is happening, you're getting emailed that, hey, someone just scheduled an appointment. Just through this appointment software or whatever one you end up setting up. Doesn't have to be this one, but I'm going to share the resource for this if you want it. It'll send you an email. Hey, you have an appointment, and it'll automatically go on your Google Calendar once you have all of that set up properly. Now, let's save it. We want to mark this active. So right here, if they did a no-show, you could set up a different sequence. Did they not show up to their appointment? Do we need to reschedule? There's all sorts of things, but in simple terms, this demo is just to be simplified. You can see how easy that was to get them to automatically go schedule an appointment at any point during the follow-up on the general follow-up list. Because in every email, you're going to have schedule a Zoom or a phone call. You want to have that link so they have the option to do that. And even if it's 9 months down the road, if they do it, automatically they got on your calendar, you got an email that says, hey, you have a new appointment, whether you remember exactly who it is or not, they do. And they got an email that said, hey, please honor our time and mark your calendar accordingly, which is going to reduce your no-shows. All of that months later from somebody that right at this point in your sales business, you're probably not even following up with. Now you will be all the time and you'll never miss it. So let's name this, and then we're going to wrap up on our last list, which is my favorite list. That's the appointment set. Did I save? Save, and we marked it active. All right, so we're going to set up one more automation here. This one's my favorite. All right, so look at that. In a short amount of time, we've got 2 automations set up that are now working for us. Congratulations. If you do this, you have more leverage now than most salespeople will ever have. And your follow-up is always going to be followed up with. It's amazing, isn't it? Let's get to the last one, which is when they become a client of yours through this system automatically. Start from scratch. As always, it's going to ask us what the starting point is. And in this case, we are going to make it once they're our client. This is a really, really cool follow-up sequence. So I don't know what product everyone on here is watching, but with us, with Easy Pay, we do payment processing. So as soon as somebody's a client, they're already getting welcome emails. They're already getting all of that stuff when they get onboarded to do their payment processing with us. So again, with your industry, I don't know how it works. So if they're not getting an email like that as soon as they're onboarded with whatever your product is, then you would probably want to set up your email to send right away so that they are getting that email. You really want to welcome people on board with whatever product you have. If that's not already happening, it should be, and it will be once you set that up. So in my case, in our industry with my company, that stuff's already happening. So when they become a client, I'm not going to bombard them on day 1 or day 2 of more emails, but I am going to check up on them pretty early in, right? So let's say after 4 days. Okay, they've been on with us for 4 days, and I just want to follow up. I'm just going to send a nice little email like, hey, how's everything going? Right? Very simple. Something, again, tons of salespeople are not doing because we're so busy chasing the next deal. We're out prospecting. We're out making money, right? But these things are really, really important. If we can get them to happen automatically for us, why wouldn't we want them? Which is the whole point here. You're going to select the template. All right, how's your experience so far? The thing I love about these emails once they're a client is, I don't know what product you're selling, but what we do, merchant services, we make a residual income, right? We get paid every month on our clients that stay with us. So we want to follow up. So just like a lot of salespeople don't follow up before they're a client, well, a big thing in our industry and in most industries is salespeople, once they get the client, they're so busy chasing new deals, they never go back to old clients to follow up and see how they're doing. Some people do, but the average salesperson doesn't do all of that. So that's why I love this, because we make residual income with, at least in our company, we make residual income. And the longer these clients stay with you, the more money we make. So you want to check up on them. And if they're not happy, we want to know. And these systems will trigger them to let you know if there is anything that's bothering them, so that you can fix it so that they stay with you forever. Or they're going to let you know, yeah, I'm totally happy. This product is exactly what you told me. Thanks for checking. They're going to love you because most salespeople don't do it. So I'm going to do a nice little follow-up email here. Already got the template ready. So boom, nice and simple. We're a couple days in, just calling to make sure everything's going as planned. How you feeling? Do you need help with anything? I'm here for you. If you ever need me, let me know. Folks, emails like this will save your accounts. Your accounts will stay with you forever. Speaking for merchant services and Easy Pay, if you're with us, this will keep your accounts forever. Okay? When they're getting service and they know that you're just an email or a phone call away, they will stay with you forever. And no matter what product you're selling, if you're not in the industry and you're just on this demo, this is going to help your business significantly. It will. This applies to any product. Anybody that buys something from you, when you follow up and check on them, they love that stuff. Okay? Now it's going to happen automatically. So let's save this, finish. And as always, we're going to save. So now what I really love, I'm just going to go through this. I'm not going to create all the emails. I've got all these templates, every template you can think of. We already have this all mapped out. We already have all the templates. You can go create all your own stuff. But I'm going to fast forward just a couple of steps. I'm not going to write the emails, but here's how I set this one up. Okay, so 4 days later, 5 days later, you're just checking in, make sure they're happy. And then we want to check up with them around the 30-day mark. They've been with you for 1 month. That first one was already 4 days. So I'm going to set this at 26 days. And in that template, it's going to say it's been 30 days. How are you feeling? How's everything going? I'm going to send them an email. This one, I'm not going to set this one up. I want to get through this demo here. I think you get the point. You can create your email. You can put all sorts of stuff in there. So at this point, this is their 30-day reminder. Again, I'm going to come back. And for me, with merchant services, I love around 60 days. 60 days, people have been with you. They've got their first bill. They may have needed support, at least with Easy Pay. They're getting this amazing support. Hopefully, they've actually needed to use it once or twice just because you want them to know how good it is, right? They answer the phone right away. So at 60 days, they've got a little experience. They're happy about their bill. It's exactly what you told them or whatever product you're selling. By 60 days, that's enough time they've test drove it, right? So this is where I want to start sending an email, yes, to check again if they're happy. But at this point, they don't need it over and over and over and over and over forever. At this point, we're going to start talking about referrals. If you're happy, I thrive off of referrals. It is a very big part of my business. And you have a template specifically for how to ask for referrals as well. I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to fully create that. I just want to point out that that's where this would happen, around 60 days referral emails. So at this point, you're sending referrals. They've been with you for a long time. You don't need to send it every 30 days, but occasionally or quarterly or every half a year, you could just remind them, hey, we'd love to give you $100. You've been happy. You've probably saved $30,000 since we did business, or figure out that number. Percentage-wise, most people are saving 85 to 95%, and it's been a year that you've been saving that kind of money. Do you know anybody else that would like to save that kind of money? Here's a link to the video if you want to share it with others, right? You can get so sophisticated and cool, and this isn't even sophisticated yet. This is like the basic, simple, anyone could set this up in a couple of hours and never miss follow-up ever again. I hope you guys are all seeing this. Clients want to market active. So folks, you can see we took someone from the general follow-up to where they could schedule their own appointment, where they're getting sent the right information. Once they become a client, you're following up with them, you're servicing them, you're offering your help, you're asking for referrals, you're giving them your company links so that they can share it with others, incentivizing them. And this list should go on and on and on and on and on. So as soon as people get in here, you can constantly not only follow up for the sell, but follow up to make sure they're happy, make sure they're a client of yours. Again, with us, if you're making residuals or whatever your product is, if you're making residuals, you want to keep these people happy forever. You don't want them to ever leave. And these are the things that just give you that extra layer to keep accounts forever. So folks, that was just 3 lists there. Okay, that was some very simple automations. We can get much more in depth. There's a lot more to this, but with this demo, I just want to show the importance of it. And with Active Campaign, which is this software right here, I'm going to provide you all that information if you care to, get a test trial or whatever you end up doing, or if you have your own CRM. But you should have something in place, and you can see that it didn't take that much time. It's not that hard. And if you think it is hard or it feels hard at first, so was riding the bike. So was learning how to walk. So is everything that's new, okay? Don't be intimidated by this, because once you get it down and it's set, it's set forever. You can literally now, when you come home at night or back to the office, is upload them as clients. So you would go up here to contacts, and then you can manually enter them. I'm not going to sit here and manually enter dummy clients, because it's really simple. You just go up to clients, you can enter them in there, and then from there, you would assign them to a list, which most likely is going to be your general follow-up, and it is on. It's being taken care of.